Hey guys, back here with the second video today for April 4th, 2019. So I saw an article on my feed this morning from Forbes. What if toxic masculinity is the reason for climate change? And this makes me think of the, you have a deck of cards where you just randomly pull out, something to say, okay, what's causing this, the problem with climate change. I'll pull it out, and today it says toxic masculinity. So let's take a look at this article. And I haven't really read through this article, so you're going to get kind of a fresh take on this. But just the title alone just kind of said, I got to make a video on this. It just screamed at me. And this is by Carolyn Centeno Milton with Forbes Women. I bet you she's going to need to learn to code soon. All right, so when a person walks out of a grocery store holding an eco-friendly canvas bag instead of a plastic bag, what gender do you think they are? Most likely your unconscious bias answers that they are female. It's the type of answer Dr. Aaron Bra? It's probably Bra. Of Utah State University is trying to get to the bottom of through his research. Well, I do know that statistically, and economists have known this for a long time, that women make the shopping decisions in the household. So usually they're the ones who are buying the stuff at the grocery store. And I think you're going to have more women at a grocery store than men. And because there's just more women carrying them or going to the grocery store, there's going to just be more women also carrying bags. Although I do use reusable bags simply because, they hold a lot more stuff in them than those little plastic bags, which means less trips back to the car. Bra co-authored a paper with professors from 4 other universities to understand how gender norms affect sustainable decision-making. They report data from 7 experiments that include over 2,000 participants from the U.S. and China. What they found was remarkable. Although China is not the most eco-friendly place in the world, but this should be interesting. They found that both men and women associated doing something good for the environment with being more feminine. And when men's gender identity was threatened, they tried to reassert their masculinity through environmentally damaging choices. The report states that men may be motivated to avoid or even oppose green behaviors in order to safeguard their gender identity. This unearths a deeply held unconscious bias that Bra and team call the green feminine stereotype. Once this unconscious bias is revealed, it has the potential to help society shift our increasingly precarious relationship with the environment for the better. If it remains hidden, it has the potential to greatly damage our environment permanently. Now, I will say from from an anecdotal, personal story, when I was single, I just bought things that were cheap, right? So if I saw something that was organic or something that non-organic, I bought the non-organic stuff because it was cheaper. I didn't buy the cage-free eggs because they're more expensive than the non-cage-free eggs. And you just didn't think about that. And when it came to stuff like recycling, although where I had lived before, recycling was very difficult. It was super restrictive, a lot of rules and stuff, and it was just easier just to throw away everything. And they give you these little tiny bins to recycle, and it's like, I can't fit everything in there. Where we live now, though, we have a massive bin. It's about the size of a full trash can, and they're just like, throw whatever in there. The only thing they say the only thing they don't want is plastic bags. So it's a lot easier to recycle now. So we do recycle a lot. And when I got married to my wife, she was much more into buying the organic stuff, buying cage-free eggs. She was really into recycling. Like, if she has a piece of trash, she'll sit there and do research if it's recyclable or not. Which is me. With me, I'm just like, it's not worth the effort to just try to figure out what to do with a piece of trash. If I'm not sure it can be recycled, I'll just throw it away, right? And that's just how guys are. They're just direct, very logical. Like, I'm not going to burn the energy to figure out an inconsequential piece of trash, right? So, and again, like when you're going to the store, men will usually just buy whatever's cheaper. They don't really care about the quality. And again, this is why economists know that women they make these kind of choices. And it's not, and the thing is that, yeah, I may equate the fact, being more conscious about recycling or buying cage-free eggs, I got that from my wife, right? I do that now because I got it from my wife. But I don't necessarily think it's a feminine thing. It's not like, oh, I want to buy the cage-free eggs, but meanwhile, I'm going to buy, I'm not going to buy cage-free eggs because it makes me feel like a woman. That's just a bunch of BS. Maybe it's just the fact that these men have learned from their significant others that, hey, this is how you are more responsible, and it's just a natural thing they equate to it. Now, how they try to offset that by being like, more, I'm just going to throw trash out the window because I bought cage-free eggs, or I'm going to throw trash out the window because I recycled my soda can. I just don't understand that, but we'll keep going. In one of Bra and team's experiments, both men and women were asked to recall a time when they did something good or bad for the environment. Those who recalled having done something good for the environment rated themselves as more feminine than those who recalled having done something bad for the environment. One might expect this type of gender stereotyping around green behavior to happen only when someone is concerned about how they appear to others. But even upon self-evaluation, judge themselves as feminine when acting responsibly towards the environment. This experiment shows how deeply held this bias is. Another experiment took the idea further and applied the concept of the green feminine stereotype to product and brand selection. Male participants were exposed to one of 2 Walmart gift cards. One that used more comically feminine design elements like pink and floral, selected to threaten masculine stereotypes, or another gift card that was designed not to threaten masculinity. The men were then asked to make a series of choices between green and non-green products to purchase. Men who were shown the gender threat card, a gift card, chose more non-green products than men who showed the other card, or other gift card. This means that when men felt emasculated, they associated their masculinity and safeguarded their gender by making choices that ultimately harm the environment. I don't know how accurate that study is. I mean, it's 2,000 men. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, so did they give them like a list saying, okay, you need to buy these items, right? And did they buy something that was organic instead of non-organic? Like, I just don't know. Correlation does not mean causation. I don't know how legit that is, but I'm sure there's more to the background. I don't see anywhere in this article where they list the source of the study, so that would be interesting. But to take this concept further, the group worked with BMW in China to test 2 print ads for the same car. The only difference between the ads was that the word eco-friendly was replaced in one ad with a more masculine Chinese word for protection. What they found was that men evaluated the protection option more positively than the eco-friendly option, even though it was the same car. Which begs the question, do brands need to pander to an unconscious bias and affirm masculinity, or use stereotypically masculine elements to positively move the needle in environmental impact? Okay, so I actually have a bit major problems with this. A car is a dangerous object, right? I would want a car that's safe, a car that, resonates protection. That I think that would be an important thing. Sorry, I had to cough. I think that would be a really important thing. So, again, I don't think that's not one and the same, I think maybe if you said eco-friendly versus cheaper, I mean, even then, guys are always going to lean that way because the price is always going to be something they look at first. It's just how men are wired, right? And so saying, hey, you can either get a car that's friendly to the environment or you can get a car that's safe for your family. Which one are you going to choose? Most people are probably going to choose the safe for the family. Now, granted, they probably would want a car that does both, but if we're saying either or, I'm definitely going to choose the car that's going to protect me and my family, right? It seems regressive to do so, with so many brands launching with a female-only audience due to lack of representation in products and market understanding. It seems like a perfect time to rebrand eco-friendly's association with femininity as a positive thing, and men's affiliation with positive environmental steps as a human-affirming truth that shifts us from negative and segregated gender identities into our roles as humans on this planet. The more interesting opportunity seems to be exposing the toxicity present within the unconscious bias that acting green is a feminine and therefore weaker or negative thing. The thing is, I don't really agree with this. I just think while maybe men make choices that are, again, not buying the cage-free eggs, or not buying something that's organic, doesn't necessarily mean that they're being toxic, right? It's just the way that they're trying to make that correlation, I don't think is, faithful. Exposing the fact that our society creates a toxic hierarchy around femininity as a lesser thing. That's not true. Barl himself cited gender research around gender incongruence and the great penalties that men and women face when they don't fit stereotypical gender norms. Well, I mean, you have a society that's built on certain gender norms, so, people who are outside the gender norms are probably going to be a little bit... They're gonna have a little bit more of a challenge. That's just how it is. I mean, that's just how it is. You have everyone who acts a certain way, and if you want to be that one person going against the grain, well, guess what? You're probably going to be treated a little differently. Let's see. Research suggests that men experience greater psychological damage or face harsher consequences when associated with feminine qualities. As a society, we're beginning to address these problems with corporate unconscious bias training, exposure, and conversation. But when it comes to our environment, a toxic masculinity is greatly affecting our shared environment for the worse. Bra sums it up nicely. We need to overcome our unhealthy judgments of gender incongruence. And men need to be confident in their self-identity and decide to live a sustainable lifestyle without caring what other people think. Let's begin the conversation and start overriding our natural judgments. Our future depends on it. And the thing is that, and honestly, I mean, I don't disagree with some of this stuff. I just think, and I would love to see I would love to see the actual paper, which they don't link here to. But I think there's a lot of correlation does not mean causation going on here. But again, I think a lot of times too is the whole concept that men need to be less masculine, men need to be they need to move away from toxic masculinity and stuff like that. Well, I think a lot of that purely comes down to is that men are just being talked down to. I mean, you look at the Gillette ad, the whole ad was just slapping men on the wrist saying, you are terrible people, you need to be better. And that's not the way you get men to do this. So, and the thing is that companies, they need maybe to change their marketing. Because men just, like I said, men don't think about this kind of thing. It's just what a man does. Mans just think of, I need to buy eggs. These are cheaper. Why should I buy more expensive eggs when the cheap ones will do just as fine, right? Or I'm going to buy non-organic because it's cheaper. Because what's the real difference? And the thing is also we throw around the term organic like it means nothing. You don't even really know what's organic anymore. It's just a buzzword people put on stuff to sell stuff. And again, usually it's the women who are buying these things. So naturally, women are probably going to buy the organic stuff more than men because they actually care more about that. Because women are caregivers. Women, they care about taking care of their family. And so naturally, they're going to buy stuff that's going to be healthier, which is going to be stuff like organic stuff or cage-free eggs and whatnot. So naturally, they're going to make those kind of decisions. Whereas men are just like, eggs and egg. I mean, it's trash is trash. You gotta recycle certain trash, and that's the thing is that I think I was talking about the recycling situation with our family. It definitely helps that they've simplified it a lot more because that makes it easier for me. Because guys are just like, let's get the job as done as efficiently as possible, and then try to and cheaply as possible and get it done. So, anyways, I don't know how much to really put faith in this. I would love to see the actual paper, but, the fact that toxic masculinity, in which I don't see anywhere that this Dr. Bro or whatever had actually called out toxic masculinity. I think he was just talking about just stereotypes and gender norms. And then you have Carolyn here who's just calling it toxic masculinity because anything that's not feminism is toxic, right? So that that's where they're coming from with this. And if this article had said, what, and of course to say that this is the main reason for climate change is just hyperbolic as well. But just to say, if they were to say, what if, gender stereotypes is the reason for climate change, right? That would have been, I wouldn't have come into this article with immediate skepticism of, Carolyn's intentions here. But anyways, that's my take on this. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this content, go and subscribe, hit that like button. Check me out on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.